entertained? Are you not entertained?
Welcome anime community, it's Almighty Geek today with another Jujutsu Kaisen video. And guys, let's just have a quick discussion about this recent chapter, chapter 236. And as always before, like, comment, and subscribe. You don't have to, but it's much appreciated, guys. Well, let's get on to this discussion. In my opinion, this has been one of the greatest shonen jump fights that I've had the pleasure of enjoying in a long time, guys. Like, seriously. The battle between the strongest, dude, it has finally reached the climactic end, you guys. Sukuna, the King of Curses versus GoJo I. Boy, my god. We all knew from the moment this battle started, dude. Like, from the moment these two dudes locked eyes, that only one was walking away. Let's just be truly honest. Only one was going to walk away from this battle. And I'm not going to lie, after chapter 235, it seemed like GoJo had the upper hand in the situation, but we find out after this chapter, chapter 236, that is not the case. After hitting Sukuna with the point blank hollow purple flash, like after hitting him with it point blank and seeing the aftermath that it left, the scar that it left on the battlefield alone, you would think that GoJo would walk out the victor, especially after what we got after the last 2 weeks. But again, that seems not to be the case. Dude, this chapter right here, man, is going to send shockwaves through the community for the long haul, guys. Now, the chapter opens up with GoJo and Geto talking, and off bat I was kind of like, where is this guy at? Is this just a flashback? But no, as their conversation continues and goes on, we see that this is not a flashback. I don't know if my boy was in the astral plane, if this was between the living and the afterlife. I don't know what was going on, but he was having a conversation with him, and Geto asks him like, yo, how was the battle between you and Sukuna? And that's what kind of had me taken back, like, wait a minute, what is going on with this chapter? But we get GoJo revealing that he couldn't bring the full power out of Sukuna, which, if you are a GoJo fan, that was definitely hard for you guys to hear. Again, he literally confirms even without the 10 shadows, the battle probably would have had the same result. And again, for GoJo fans, they have been for the last couple of weeks doing the whole Sukuna is a fraud, you know, just going crazy with it, like saying that if it wasn't for the 10 shadows, that this fight would have been done, it would have been history, GoJo would have been the victor. Which, just to be honest, I never truly understand, just because this is a typical shonen jump series. So, you know, if Sukuna was the end game of Jujutsu Kaisen, the end game fight, what made you guys think that he was going to lose in this battle? Like, again, even I knew the outcome. Don't get me wrong, like I said 2 weeks ago, that chapter did have me a little bit like, okay, what's going on here? But we all were coming up with our own ideas, our own theories of what might happen after that chapter. We all knew, though, that GoJo was going to lose. But with him continuing the conversation between him and Geto, he explains that everyone dies alone. And again, hearing him say that, I felt for my boy. I'm not gonna lie to you, I felt just knowing what I was about to read, or just, you know, just look at. I knew what was about to take place hearing him say that, and just to know that Yuji, just like everybody else, was watching that battle. So just to see this, it's just like, oh my god, man. We didn't get him making an analysis kind of between him and Sukuna, and it's crazy because when he made this analysis, I kind of felt like, okay, so if you guys know Bleach and you know the battle between Aizen and Ichigo in the fake Kurokawa town, it kind of felt like that. You know, when Ichigo was finally able to reach a level that he was able to fight on par with Aizen, and he said he crossed his blades with him, he finally understood a little bit of Aizen. And again, from what Ichigo was trying to put in perspective, it seemed like the moment Aizen got his abilities, his power, his strength, he felt as if no one was going to be on his level or even understand him. And it kind of felt like Gojo was trying to give us that same explanation of Sukuna. It felt like Sukuna was in his own bubble, in his own world, and the same thing with Gojo. Like, they were in their own worlds because they were so strong and so powerful. And regardless if you admired them, if you adored them, again, you couldn't comprehend them because you weren't on their level. How can you truly understand how they feel? So I thought that was kind of a cool, quick analysis that Gojo gave for Sukuna. And the fact that he was said that he wasn't the one that was able to reach Sukuna. You know what I mean? Get him to kind of understand that in a sense. After which he explains that we get to see some older faces. And man, again, this just made me feel for Gojo. Like, it did. Like, I'm just being honest, guys. It made me feel for him. I am a Sukuna fan, but I did like Gojo. I'm not gonna lie to you. Didn't want to see my boy go, but again, we knew when these two clashed that only one was gonna walk away. But like I said, we see some old faces and wishing him goodbye, you know, telling him like, hey, you know, we'll see you basically on that next plane. We see Riku, we see Nagami, we see Habarai, we see Kuro, we see Yaga, we see all of them, guys, legit, we see all of them. But slowly, we gotta snap back into reality, and we get the realization of the outcome of the battle. And dude, we just see Gojo laying on the ground, eyes whited out. Just, I couldn't believe what I was actually seeing. Like, again, especially like I said, from what we got last week, I mean, over the last 2 weeks, I did not see that coming. I did not see it off screen, and that's what the fandom are basically screaming about when it comes to this chapter, is the fact that Gojo got done in off screen. And yes, Sukuna, you know, towards the end of this chapter, he explains what happened, but it doesn't change the fact that Gojo was killed off screen. How did you guys feel about that? If you're a Gojo fan, how did you feel? If you're a Sukuna fan, were you okay with Sukuna winning that way? Because again, if it was me, I knew he was going to come out the victor regardless, but I was definitely thinking he was going to pull out some other techniques or some other curse techniques. But in a sense, he kind of did. But again, he goes on to explain that. So, oh man, with Sukuna standing over him, man, he basically explains in his own words, guys. I'm just saying, this is what he goes on to actually explain to Gojo about the events that just transpired. He says, and I quote, Maharaga's adaptation can start after only a single attack, then it slowly starts to analyze, and its completion is only a matter of time. If it receives another identical attack during that calculation period, the adaptation accelerates. Jesus Christ. Once the technique is adapted to, the analyzing doesn't stop there. It continues to adapt further. He then explains, he then goes on to say, what I wanted from Magaraga was a model of how to tear through your infinity. He says after first adapting, Maharaga was altering the essence of its own curse energy in order to neutralize and nullify your infinity. That was something I was unable to do, so I waited for it to discover another adaptation to counter your infinity, one I could use. The second adaptation was exactly what I have been anticipating, but it wasn't sending slashes flying as I do. It was expanding the technique's target. It extended target wasn't just you, Gojo, but the space, the entire world, existence itself. It targeted everything before it unleashed those slashes. So I'm assuming he's referring to those slashes that happened a couple of chapters ago. But even still, Jesus Christ, oh my God, Sukuna's a beast. Your infinity meant nothing as long as it exists within the space, that world, it would all be torn apart. It was a near impossible technique to pull off, but the model proved to be quite effective. Jesus Christ, Sukuna. And I'm assuming all of this happened towards the end of the last chapter, but we just didn't get to witness it. Like, maybe Gojo was standing the way he was standing for a reason. Like, maybe we just didn't see his body fall off after that. I don't know, but that is crazy, dude. That is crazy. I mean, again, those are the words coming out of Sukuna's mouth. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Oh, dude, he just used Madarage as legit a puppet, dude. Like, just to learn how to destroy his infinity or to slash past it. This is crazy. After which we see our boy Yuji with the shock look on his face. And let's just be truly honest, we were all shocked when it comes to this chapter, especially when the spoilers came out. We were all looking like, whoa, did this truly happen? Even if you were a Sukuna hardcore stan, you were reading this like, oh my god, did this actually just happen? Oh man. It ends with Sukuna, obviously, giving his respect to Gojo, thanking him for having an amazing battle. It was legit the battle between the two goats of Jujutsu Kaisen. But we all know what happened towards the end of the chapter. That boy Hajime shows up, the Thunder God, which I don't understand, because if you just saw Gojo get clapped, what makes you think that you are going to be able to do a damn thing? That's what I want to know. What are you really going to do? What are you going to do that Gojo couldn't do? Like, if this dude just adapted to infinity, if he just did that to infinity, what are you going to do? Like, seriously, man, I got to know. I got to know what you're going to pull out the woodworks against the King of Curses, who apparently wasn't even going full out. Didn't even use all of his techniques. This is crazy, dude. This chapter was just beyond me. It was bonkers. And again, guys, this is just coming from me. I am sorry for my spoiler review video. I could have went, I guess, or did that video a little bit better. It was kind of a little bit choppy, but I'm sorry for that. But this is my official review / discussion of the chapter, because it was just bonkers. It was just bonkers. Again, I thought the way it was starting off, this was just going to be all a daydream, but it turns out it's not. The scariest thing in any shonen series is right before the conclusion of a fight if you get a flashback. If you get a flashback, you already know what's about to be confirmed within the next couple of panels. That your favorite character just got killed. It happened with Old Man Yamamoto in Bleach. I remember reading it for like, we all thought that it was just a regular slash that Juhai gave him, and then that next chapter we got a flashback, and then after the flashback we see him completely cut in half. This was the exact same thing. It's just that I think Gojo got done a little bit worse with the off-screen, because yes, we got the explanation from Sukuna, but the off-screen, man, was it worth it? Was it worth it, Geek? Was it worth it? Oh, man. So if you guys have read the chapter by now, let me know how you guys feel. How do you feel about Gojo passing the way he did? Rest in peace to one of the best goats, greatest goats out there when it comes to just manga series in general, man. RIP to him. We move on next week and we find out what's going to happen between Sukuna and Hajime, and I'm looking forward to that, guys. But without further ado, this has been your boy Almighty Geek. Peace, love, and deuces.